What's going on, guys? Shit. What's going on? What's up? I realize I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I have it kind of mounted against my laptop here, but man, I realized I haven't gone live in a while, and I get a lot of people asking me like, "Man, where's the content? Where's the videos? Man, you're not posting as often." And it's like, man, guys, this new ever since we merged, I merged my company about a couple weeks ago, start of April. It's just been just heavy. It's been very, very busy. I've just been going all over the place, and it's been a wild ride so far. And so yeah, it's just been taking a lot of my time recently. So if you, I got a comment on one of my videos, and it's like, man, you haven't been posting, man. I hate to see you go. I was like, man, I'm not going anywhere. I just need I need a little bit of ounce of time, and whatnot. What's going on, guys? Good evening, Michael. Michael Lasser. I believe you've been watching my content for a long time. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Colton, Charleston, Colton, Keith, Mr. Keith? Yeah, guys. So I just wanted to go live on YouTube for a little bit. It's been a while since I went live, but man, it's been an all day, every day thing. Well, really, ever since the start of the year, ever since we're in the spring season. So hopefully, you guys are hammering out there and staying busy. I just thought I'd talk a little bit about kind of what the last couple weeks has been. I believe the last long form video you guys saw. Well, I made a video kind of how to start a pressure washing business, but before that, I guess like out in the field, it was kind of one of my last my last OG wash vlogs, I guess you could say, of me out in the field, and just kind of what the last couple weeks has been. And 2 trucks running full time. You guys know that I merged my company with another very, very large company in Austin a few weeks ago, and how that kind of looked like is we took basically my book of business, his book of business, we merged them together on one CRM. We have 2 trucks, 2 guys doing all the work, and his role is what he's pretty good at, and he's been a 4 or 5 year friend of mine, so I know him fairly well. Really great guy, and he's kind of going out there doing all the sales, the estimates, kind of running the leads and whatnot. We're doing like 8 to 9 estimates per day in person, guys. It's just insane, the amount of work that's out there, and it being just so many years in the business, the compounding effect just gets larger and larger each year. So it's definitely a blessing. And so he's going out there running all the estimates, scheduling the jobs. He's pretty good at going there and doing the estimates in person, and then going over the estimates with the actual homeowner at the kitchen table, scheduling the work, right? And then the position I'm kind of taking right now is just overseeing operations. So managing the schedule somewhat, making sure the guys have everything they need on the truck, diagnosing issues, teaching them how to wash faster, wash more efficient, and just kind of turn their dials a little bit, if I could use one analogy or another, I guess I could say. They're they're very good guys that know what they're doing. So I'm just kind of trying to give them a bit more tips and pointers and whatnot. We've had a couple issues recently where the guys are spraying chem and not really doing that good of a job of rinsing plants. So we've had a little bit of plant burn recently. A couple little minor mistakes that we're gonna fix real soon, but that just comes with the territory of hiring guys that, that's the thing when you get to the point where you're scaling and you're hiring people, it's going to be hard to find someone who takes it just as seriously as the business owner. The business owner has all the risk, carries all the liability, is involved in all the finances. They're paid, if you're a one owner, one truck guy like I was for the longest time, you basically keep all the money outside of taxes and expenses. So you kind of have the additional motivation to make sure everything is perfect, and then make sure you get that Google review. But the reality is when you have guys out there working, they want to get paid, they want to go home. A lot of our guys are really great. It's just sometimes there's mistakes, and some mistakes that I'm not used to because I don't do any. The mistakes that have been happening recently are mistakes that I wouldn't have done. But it's all good. This is just what comes to the territory, and it's been awesome recently. Some questions here. If they watched that video where you talked about merging and taking a break, they know, right? Right, yeah. So a lot of people that follow me sometimes aren't up to date on my videos. So for those of you guys that are just joining in, I was just talking about how I get a lot of comments saying that I haven't posted a video, and man, Austin's gone. He's not posting videos anymore. The last 3 weeks have just been crazy. If I showed you my back end CRM, you guys would flip out. We're probably doing seven jobs a day, 2 trucks, averaging $3,000 a day per truck. Some of them, sometimes it's $1,800 to $2,000. Sometimes we've had $4,000 a day on a single truck. We're up to almost $80,000 for the month right now. So it's pretty freaking crazy right now. And it goes to show that I haven't made a video recently. So I'm just making sure we have what we need. I mean, we're going through freaking towels. We're going through steel wool like crazy. We're going through bleach like crazy. We're getting, what is it? 600 gallons a week we're going through that we get delivered. Sometimes it's 700, 800 gallons a week. So it's insane. How do you get most of your leads? I mean, so at this point in the lead game, guys, for us, it's all Google Organics. I mean, the company I merged with has been in business for 7-8 years. I've been in business going on 5 years. Both of our online presence are we're the number 1 and number 2 guys. We would kind of flip flop through the years of who has the one position, and we just decided to merge together. So basically, anyone in my area from a 40 or 50 mile radius that needs any kind of pressure washing done. Fortunately, we get a lot of that traffic. So we have our Google. We have Google Ads. We're running about $1,500 to $2,000 per month in Google Ads, which produces a fair amount of leads. But other than that, our referral game is on point. We get a lot of referral business from customers. Obviously, my business came into the table, had a lot of realtors that always does a lot of work with me, and so that kind of carried on in our new business. We have contracts. We have contracts with the airport. Contracts with home builders, contracts with some restaurants. And so, just kind of giving you guys an update that's kind of what we're doing right now. Austin, how do you deal with an oversaturated market when first getting started? That's a good question. What I would say, this is probably industry specific. It'd probably be different if it was like tech, because I feel like in tech, if there's a certain type of app or a certain type of technology out there, it's going to be pretty hard to kind of replicate that if the first person who does it does a good job at it. But as far as like pressure washing and like the service business goes, the dropout is insane. Like guys that I saw on Google 4 or 5 years ago there was probably 20 people I saw on Google 5 years ago when I first got started. I think 3 of them are here now. Like the rest of them are just gone, right? And so the dropout in the service industry is pretty hard, is a lot. I mean, I think they say, 90% of people, or 70% of people quit in business after 1 year. After 5 years, I think it's 90 to 95% of them are not in business. So we're really talking about the very few people that actually see it through to fruition. And that's kind of what I talk about in my program a lot. It's just like, how do we get to a point where we see our business through to fruition? Well, a lot of it is not over leveraging yourself so hard in the beginning, like I talked about in my last video. The amount of people that YOLO and quit their jobs and go and finance a bunch of equipment because they saw some dude on YouTube say that quit your job, become a millionaire, fucking, change your life, all this crap, is what happens with a lot of people. A lot of people just get kind of, I don't know. You need to have an open mind to like business, but I feel like when it's wide open, like a parachute wide open, like you have no parachute, and there, your mind can go places, and you think you can do a lot of things that you are unrealistically aren't going to be unable to do. So I talk about keeping your full-time job until the amount of work that you are keeping your full-time job until it costs you more money to be at your full-time job than what your full-time job is paying you. Then at which I would initiate some kind of hour down part-time deal and slowly work your way into full-time pressure washing. Like that is how I can almost guarantee you'll stick around, because when you don't need the money in the very beginning and you can reinvest a little bit and not be stealing so much from your business checking account, that's how I can, that's one of the ways you can ensure you actually see it through to fruition. So just to answer your question, like how do you deal with oversaturated markets? Just knowing that 90% of them are not going to be here in a year or two, and don't over leverage yourself. Do what you need to be doing every single day. Come up with a marketing plan. Give every day an assignment, and get some self development in, and know that it's going to be a hard road, and you're just going to have to work your butt off. Pretty straightforward stuff. That's about drone and hooking up a soft wash system. I think that's a bad idea. I've seen many videos on this drone soft wash system that costs as much as an F250. I think the thing is like 50 grand. Actually, I think F250s are like way more expensive than that, depending on the trim. But I saw a drone that was like 30 or 40 grand. I don't know. And it had this huge props. I mean, I can just picture the soft wash system going up the bottom of the drone. And the hose is going like this, and here's the drone, and then all of a sudden, like some soft wash coupling right here, like breaks, and all of a sudden, just bleach sprays all over this $30,000 drone, and just and then I don't know, I can picture it hitting into a building, a tree, and just the amount of insurance you would need to have on that, and the kind of company that would finance a drone like that is probably going to charge you a good amount to insure that. I mean, think about if you have some kind of accident with that thing. I'm not sold on the drone washing. And I think, there's so many, I can get all into that, how that's a bad idea. Would you say Facebook ads are the best to get your name out there, or is there a better strategy when starting up fresh in the market? I've been watching for a while now, but okay. Your question is about if you think Facebook ads would be great to get your name out there. I think anything you can do to get your name out there is going to be beneficial to you. It's going to move the needle in the right direction. I will say with Facebook ads and with Facebook, we are dealing with people that don't necessarily have intent. Think about anytime you've ever opened up your Facebook ad. You don't go on Facebook and intend to buy some kind of service or put your name in through some kind of service company that you see on Facebook. So chances are 99% of the people that see your ads on Facebook are feeling the same way. So I feel like, I'd rather put it into Google ads. That way you can get yourself in front of people who actually have intent, that are looking for your services rather than Facebook. But there's plenty of people out there that have had success over Facebook. So I don't want to hate on that either. I think it's something you should experiment with. Any recommendations for equipment? And also, would you be down for an online interview for my channel? If you go to my About page on my YouTube channel, I think you could scroll down somewhere. There's a spot where you can email me, or you can just DM me on Instagram, Austin_Davis23 on Instagram. And maybe we can schedule some time. That'd be cool. For a one-man crew, how would you tackle a big apartment complex? Even when I was at one-man crew for 3 or 4 years, I always had help, so like 80% of the time I had a helper. I would not recommend doing that by yourself. Actually, funny story, one time we did an apartment complex. I actually had a YouTube video on it going back a year or two ago. You guys can look it up. But we were doing an apartment complex, and I was on the 3rd floor surface cleaning the breezeways, and a wave of water went over the 3rd breezeway and halfway hit this woman. And like, she had her dog, and her shoes got wet, and the dog's tail got wet with dirty water. And my helper's sole job was to be on the 1st floor, basically telling people to get out of the way because there's water coming off both sides. And it just so happened to be the time where he was distracted or went back to the truck for something, and I didn't see it. I didn't see him go back to the truck, and there's miscommunication. Someone got wet. So moral of the story is, don't try to tackle huge jobs alone. There's always going to be a guy out there that'll work for $200 in a day or whatever. So get that. So might want to consider that. Saw you're short on your AR-45 gas pump. Are you a believer in them? So the AR-45, it puts out so much volume. There's so many things I love about it, and there's things that I don't like about it. My overall view on soft wash system is still 12 volt, because on a 12 volt, I can kind of feather the trigger and barely get a little bit of, let's say, sauce, if you call it that, if when I need it. Like, let's say I'm going around a corner and I don't want to get the cedar wet, or I need to clean an isolated area, but not blow so much volume because there's plants and all this other crazy stuff around. The 12 volt's perfect for that, and I run into a lot of scenarios where I need to watch the overspray. But on the AR-45, it's almost impossible because there's so much volume coming out, and if you're using a red gun or something else where you can kind of trigger a needle and then let it loose for more of a fan spray, crap goes everywhere. And there's been, some of these mistakes that we've had in the last week when it comes to overspray and getting on plants and windows has been because of the AR-45. I have not had that issue on my other truck with the 12 volt system. So definitely the AR-45 has some overspray issues. It puts out an insane amount of volume. Like, it's crazy. But like today we did this metal roof, and the top of the pitch was probably 35 feet, just from the gutter line to the pitch. The 12 volt could not have cleaned that roof. It could have for sure, but we would have to get a ladder out and kind of get at it from another weird, sketchy angle. But the AR-45 made such quick work of it. So it's got pros and cons. Obviously, it's about more expensive, but we have it hooked up. We have our AR-45 hooked up to a blend manifold with an automatic flush. So just like my remote downstream. So it's a remote AR-45 blend manifold. It's crazy. So you hit the remote, obviously soap on, hit the remote, soap off. You don't need to flush anything or do anything to the chemical lines. You can actually leave the blend manifold lines at whatever you want, and never even touch them to flush them. All you gotta do is turn it off. So it's been pretty cool. I like it. There's things I don't like about it too. Hey Austin, watching you for about 2.5 years. My LLC has been finalized today. I just need to get banking, Google My Business, and a couple other things, and some a little more equipment. That's great, man. Super cool. Been watching you for about 2. That's awesome, dude. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I tell you what, honestly, this channel that I started 4 years ago, it's been such a blessing in my life, man. Like, never I would have thought that 4 years ago I made a simple video, or 3 years ago I made a simple video. I believe it was like going over my beginner rig setup, that it would turn out to be to this size. Like, it's just crazy. So thank you guys, really. It means so much. Leon Johns, MoFlow system looks legit. MoFlow looks legit for commercial use, especially over AR-45. I'll have to look into that. I don't know what that is. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Bro, I have been in the biz for a little more than a month. I've been getting calls for estimates, then I hear nothing back. Well, so I mean, this kind of we talk about this in my program a little bit, just kind of how to handle the first call, and how we give just enough value over the phone to get us into the door with our estimate, but we don't want to give them everything over the phone. We don't need to give them a price, because then they have something to shop. But we give them just enough value that, hey, you're gonna want us to come by and take a look at the property, right? Because we're so knowledgeable. I'm not saying this to her like literally, but how I'm describing the call. It's like we want to get her to a point where we can set up an in-person estimate and actually have her want us to come over based on some of the stuff we say on the phone. So. I know a world where I get calls and then I don't hear back from them. That'd be really weird, unless I was answering the phone and like totally turning them off in some kind of way, which has happened to me before. Which I have done before, because I have called businesses, like service businesses, like in my new house. I had to hire landscapers. I had carpet cleaners come. I had people come to help with the plumbing. And sometimes I'll call these people and I answer, and it's just like, man, this guy talking to me with slang words, and it's just like, who are these people that I'm dealing with? So that could be something to think about too. Maybe it's just better phone skills. Thanks a lot, Brandon. What's up, Michael? The beginner rig setup that you had on that Chevy 2500 is what helped me start. Yeah, it helped a lot of people. That was one of my first videos that really took off, and it was awesome. And I want to give all the credit to like Joe Deary, Powerful Improvements, because I essentially copied a lot of his whole beginner rig setup. I think there was maybe one or two things that I had differently. I know I had a shower head that I had rerouted above the reel in case I needed to rinse off. I think that was one of my little touches. But I got a lot of inspiration from him, and I'm glad it helped a lot of people. I wish equipment prices were as cheap as they were back then, because I got that whole setup, including the platform that I built. I believe it was $3,500, something like that, including the machines and everything. I've not been getting pressure washing leads since March. Any ideas? I have a ton of window cleaning jobs lined up. $400. Okay, I mean, I would need to hear what you're doing. Since March, does that mean you were getting leads prior and now you're not getting leads in the spring? That doesn't make sense. What's up, brother? Can you say what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Thinking about getting into washing hog barns. Mary, know any good resources to learn more on specific? I'm not sure what hog barns are. I guess pig barns. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Organics are organics. Spray it with bleach. Let the bleach do its thing. Oh man. Instead of this pressure washing stuff, wouldn't it make more sense just to do only windows for like the entire house, 129 or something, and just do like 10 in a day with a helper? Sure. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to make money. One thing I like about window cleaning is it sure is more popular than pressure washing. So that has its benefits, and your helper doesn't, your helper can be a dummy and still clean windows, whether, on the flip side with pressure washing, you can't really be a dummy because there's chemicals involved. There's the possible mixing of chemicals that should not be mixed. All kinds of stuff can happen. So, I'm actually with you. Sometimes I look at businesses and I think, man, that would be a great business idea. I'm just in pressure washing, and I've just been doing this for so long where, I have my market, I have my customers, I have my profit margins, and that's the business that I'm running. But, I see people on TikTok that have these little 2 or 3 man window crews, 2-man window crew, and this kid goes around selling window jobs, and he'll literally sell 10 I think you guys have seen this guy. This kid goes around, I forget where he's at, but he goes around and he has a water-fed pole setup. He's got 2 window cleaners that he pays $20 an hour for. And so in a day, for 6 hours, he'll pay each helper like $120. So he's got $240 in his daily labor expense. And he'll go and sell he'll door knock 30 or 50 doors and sell like 10 or 12 of them or 15 of them. He documents it all on TikTok. And he'll do $1,500 to $2,000 a day in windows. He's got his helpers that he pays $250 for the day to split or something like that, and he just keeps all that money. Great business. Let's see. I'd love to know more about structuring contracts in the future. If you ever decide to make a video on that topic, structuring contracts in the future. Can you be more specific what you mean by that? Are you talking about client contracts with like reoccurring? Have you ever calculated how much surface clean with an 8-gallon? How much you can surface clean with an 8-gallon per minute? No. I'm not sure what you mean by the question. I can get a lot done with surface cleaning with that type of washer. Louise? No, I don't think his name is Louise. I forget what his name is. This blonde kid, a lot younger than me. This guy's like 18 or 19 years old. Hey man, loving your videos lately. Finally pulled the trigger on buying all my equipment. Should I consider starting out with chemicals or just starting out without chemicals or just go all out? I don't know how you would do this business without the use of chemicals to some degree. I mean, of course you can do it without, but I just think that you're going to run into issues where you're going to need it. Otherwise you'll just kind of deliver subpar results a little bit, you know what I mean? So yeah, even if it means getting yourself a little pump-up sprayer, doing some pump-up spraying, start with some back patios, some walkways, something that you can easily surface clean and then just pump-up spray post-treat. You're not there all day. Guys, sometimes like, I have a video on my channel where I talked about my first ever pressure washing job, my first ever paying job. And it has like 700 or 800,000 views, like my most popular video. And that was a house wash and driveway cleaning. It took me 14 hours to do. And that was 2 days. So it was like morning to 5, and the next day from like 9 to 1 or some crap like that. That same job would take us literally like 2 hours or less. Like, it's crazy the amount of stuff that just comes with learning and having the right equipment. And obviously chemicals has a lot to do with that. If you guys go and watch that video, it's actually funny. Thinking back to that, but you know, hey, I love your videos. I'd like to thank you for helping others out understand the business. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. When you get calls from the leads, do you hear your customers asking about soft washing? Have you lost jobs based on your business name, pressure washing, instead of soft washing? No, I have not lost. It's actually the flip side. I've gained so much business with the pressure washing name because everyone understands it as pressure washing. 95% of the customers out there don't know what soft washing is. And I find that if you have, let's say, United Soft Wash or San Antonio Soft Wash, I feel like that will hurt you in the very beginning, at least. Maybe not in the long run, but in the very beginning, because you don't have that keyword pressure washing that everyone is going on Google searching. You're going to miss out on a little bit of traffic that way. But no, and it's also to my benefit, because when I show up to these these customers on estimates, they're like, oh man, I don't know how you're going to power wash up there 25 feet in the air. I mean, that kind of seems crazy. That's why we're calling you, because we can't do that. I'm like, oh, actually, no, ma'am. Let me tell you how this actually works. The whole industry is switching to this thing called soft washing. It's a new technique where we use soaps and detergents to do the cleaning for us. And you see all that mold and mildew and algae, all that's going to get treated and cleaned. That way, it won't be something for you to worry about in the next two or 3 years, because all of that algae and spores is gonna be dead. Right? Sometimes stuff grows back quicker than others, depending on your area and whatnot. But I'm actually educating the customer on it. And whenever I find that they have this like, oh shit moment, like, oh, you're kidding me, that's so cool. And like, and they get educated on it. And then I talk about this in my program, where you make it so the client would almost feel silly not even going with you. Like they would have to feel so silly that at the end of my phone call, scheduling the estimate, then getting to the job and going through a whole shebang with them, they would feel silly not hiring me, even if the price is $100 or $200 more, because I find that's how you can also deal with getting your price. People are not accepting your price. People are not accepting your price because you're either not seeing them in person, you're giving it to them over the phone because you're giving them something that they can take and shop. Or you're just not building any value in your service. So, I mean, I wouldn't either. If someone came, if I had an estimate for freaking painting my house or replacing some of these windows that need to get replaced, and someone built no value and like how they're going to look and telling me like the whole process and whatnot, I might stay clear of them. I don't need someone to just give me a price. I believe everyone on this planet needs to be sold. I think selling someone on something and the thought of being sold is actually a good thing. At one point in time, you were sold on your girlfriend or boyfriend or spouse. That needed to happen, right? I wouldn't be here today if my grandpa didn't sell himself to my grandma after my grandma denied him 3 times. Say, no, I don't want to date you. I don't want to date you. Get away from me, right? So I believe a lot of good things in this world that have happened and are going to happen and happening right now are in some way or form boils down to someone got sold on something and they went with this, right? So, I mean, exercise some sales abilities, guys. A lot of people need that little, they need to get educated. They need that nudge. Do you have a website? We have our company website. So can you answer my question above, please? Okay, Peyton, what you got? Can you answer my question above, please? All right, Peyton, now hold on. I'm a high schooler and decided to start a pressure washing business. I can't get any leads. I've tried a lot, like cards, door knocking, Facebook. Okay, this is a great, man, I'm getting exhausting myself right now. I have a Zoom in 10 minutes with our 6-figure pressure washing group. Okay, so if you guys want to get in my group, you guys can get on our next live. It's a 70 module video course. It explains everything that has ever worked for me. in this business and how I got to where I'm at right now. And we do live weekly calls every Wednesday at 7:30 Central, which is happening in 10 minutes. So I'm not sure if I can dive into the how to get leads because I feel like there's so much information out there and we talk about it so much. But yeah, and I talked a little bit about it earlier, Peyton. So you'll have to bear with me as I kind of come to a closure here. Let's see. He's bragging about having a pressure washing machine. Yep, I definitely am bragging about having a pressure washer. Let's see. Oh, do I need to buy your course to become super rich? No, I wouldn't tell you to buy my course. It's only $30, so it probably wouldn't be something suited for you. Let's see. Does Sasquatch know you left the nest? What? Have any Canadians in the group? I believe I have some Canadians. I also have someone from Europe too, which is pretty cool. He's manipulating us into investing in a strong hose. Yep. That's the whole point of this video. Manipulation. Why is your washing course better than the rest out there? I don't claim it's the best out there. I think it makes the most sense. A lot of people, there's a lot of guys out there that are having these programs and they're just charging an arm and a leg for it. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people sometimes they can't afford it. I mean, sometimes when something is $500 and they have rent and other bills to pay, who do you think? I mean, in most cases, what's going to take the superior there? Obviously, they're going to choose to pay their rent and bills, but they really need this information. Then once they get through the paywall, it's a bunch of crap that you can usually find on YouTube. What's a soft wash system? How do you wash a house? What are chemicals? Like nothing about that I've seen, and I've had access to all these back ends of these courses. It's like there's nothing about talking to customers. There's nothing about building value. There's nothing about going through the walk around and actually turning a lead into a paying customer. How do you cultivate that customer? How do you get them to call you back again and again? How do you get them to refer you business? All the quote unquote trade secrets. And the point and the reason why I wanted to create the program is because I wanted something that everyone can afford. And I wanted just a better way for me to spend my time because I spend so much time on YouTube making videos. It's just like, and I actually want to work hand on hand with people. And so, I want to create the group. That way people can be a part of the group and I can spend my actual dedicated time after work with people that decide to invest in themselves. And that way I can work with them. I know they're serious. And I can actually spend my time effectively. You guys have no idea how many people call me and just want to shoot the shit with me. They want to say, man, like, how long you been doing this? Man, I'm from New York, and man, like, how old are you? Man, when I was a kid, I used to do it pressure washing, and I was like, all right, dude, like, I want to help you, but what's going on here? Like, I'm busy. Let's see. Are you ignoring Batman? Oh God, I don't want to ignore Batman. I'm fixing to have to get off because I'm fixing to go on live on my program. Austin is a good guy. There's been a lot of bad people in this business. This guy's giving me the most value. I really appreciate that, Eric. And I don't claim to be the best of anything. I want to say I'm very, let's say, upfront with the content. I feel like I'm pretty genuine. I don't care if you follow me or don't follow me. I put out content. I try to help people with what I know, and I don't claim to be some multi-millionaire dude. There's a lot of people who are far ahead of me in business, and that's completely fine. I probably follow them, and I want to take advice from them. But if I can help someone get from here who has nothing to here, something that I've done before, that's the point of the channel. That's the whole point. I'm not over here trying to stroke my you know what. So, let's see. Austin's been real since day one. Appreciate you guys. I got to roll out. It's been 34 minutes. I'm fixing to hop on the next live. So I appreciate y'all. It's been a long time since I've been on the live, but this has been great. Answering some really good questions and connecting with you guys. I'm fixing to head out. Got a call at 7:30. That'll go till 8 o'clock. And then I got my business partner going to come over and we're going to look over some documents and whatnot and come up with some plans. So stay grinding, stay washing, and wash on, brothers.